John Williams, and I was born in the year 1908 and lived throughout World War I in the Roaring '20s. Following World War I, the United States started to reject the rest of the world. Nothing highlights this better than Woodrow Wilson's League of Nations. And Americans' response was one of isolation. Henry Lodge Cabot and other irreconcilables shut down the plan and rejected the treaty. Thus began the age of Republican presidents and the return to normalcy. We shut down our expansionist policy with high tariffs. As a result, materialism and consumerism flooded the market, making the economy boom.
Ford automobiles. During the 1920s, my company experienced a time of unmatched growth. By half through the decade, on average, nearly every family owned at least one car due to my revolutionary assembly line that could output cars like never before. Then by paying my workers well and making my cars affordable, my workers could buy cars like the consumerism nature of this time period. People and ideas could travel faster than ever before. Because of me, things like suburbs and leisure time developed.
And I work for Mr. Ford. I'm an African American who immigrated from Alabama when I heard of the pay at Mr. Ford's factory. I couldn't pass it up. By moving here, I thought I could escape racism, but it's basically just as bad here.
I have the honor of working for Mr. Ford. Now the xenophobia in this country, as an immigrant, never ceases to amaze me. They call us terrorists for no reason, like Sacco and Vanzetti. No evidence with a guilty conviction. They're just scared of the new.
Stu Akintola was just one example of an African American moving north. Not only did they move to the Midwest, but all over the East Coast. One place in particular, New York, was affected in more ways than one. A small part of the town, Harlem, began to be known as a cultural center. New forms of music like jazz and writings such as Langston Hughes developed. Similar cultural revolutions occurred simultaneously around the country. The idea of the flapper girl developed, with her short hair, drinking, smoking, and short skirts. This caused strikes between modernists and fundamentalists, which was shown in the writings of the time known as the Lost Generation.
My name is F. Scott Fitzgerald. I've become a notable writer for my numerous novels and articles. People have characterized my work into this idea of the lost generation. I find this title to be constricting, as I believe my work has a deeper meaning in the title. It's true, I do think America has become obsessed with the materialism culture. Before, Americans would only buy things with their hard-earned money, but now people can use this credit and get things they just don't deserve. Maybe this truly is a lost generation.
So much money was just sitting there, waiting to get scooped up by someone. I decided that someone was me, Al Capone. I take advantage of people's weaknesses. What of it? Sure, I raised the crime rate just a little bit. And I also managed to dodge taxes while doing it. What, you gonna report me? Yeah, boys.
The proud owner of the speakeasy club called Puzzles, and what my organization is a secret society that lets all men and women freely mingle and dress how they like and do pretty much anything they want, and the government can't even stop us. Do I know Al Capone? I mean, not personally, but where do you think I get my alcohol?
I have a question for you today. During the 1920s, people incurred massive amounts of debt. How will you prevent this during your term?
Well, in the 20s were a huge mistake. Debt swept this great country. Bad banks, not enough money in this country, set up this not so great depression. Stupid people.
Whoa.
No, let me finish. That was so rude to interrupt. You cannot interrupt. Just stupid people like yourself. Withdrawing money when there's no money. You can't withdraw money when there's no money. And it just accrued into a lot of debt. And unlike President Hoover, I will step in and help banks and businesses and help them with their debt.
Previously mentioned, following the period of enormous growth was a period of even worse economic depression. The world and the United States economy collapsed as the government virtually sat back and did nothing. Herbert Hoover believed in non-government intervention like the previous Republican standards. As a result, the economy continued to decline with unemployment skyrocketing. People became homeless, living in slums that became known as Hoovervilles. The Great Depression was caused by a variety of reasons. The stock market crash initially played a role in the crisis, and many other factors also contributed. In the world, Germany could not pay off the debt that it had incurred during World War One. For farmers, the Roaring Twenties never really happened, as a high point occurred during World War One. Also, over consumer consumption and producing quality goods made America run out of markets to sell their products. Luckily, with the presidential election of 1932, came relief in the form of Franklin Delano Roosevelt. His New Deal policy may not have ended the Great Depression, but he sure did relieve it.
Hello, welcome to my fireside chat. I just want to say thank you for listening and thank you for truly staying in there. You are truly great Americans. I know it's been a rough time for everyone, but I have a plan. My 3 R's, relief, recovery, and reform, will help us get out of this Great Depression. I'll give you jobs. I'll bring back money to this great country, and on top of that, I'll also help you sustain your money. And I'm the chair of the United Nations Human Rights Commission. I also created the Charter of Liberties in 1948. I am the First Lady of the United States, and I persuade my husband Franklin Delano Roosevelt's decisions. Recently, with his health declining, I have taken on a bigger role, but I'm sure he will recover. Hello, America. I have come to you today to elaborate on my campaign promise of the New Deal. In a nutshell, it's my promise to you, the people of America, to use my executive power to fix the nation. To do this, I will have more government regulation. My first 100 days will be jam-packed full of legislation in order to benefit the American public. My regulation will help prevent problems such as buying on the margin. No more will the rich be able to loan money in order to invest. In addition, now government can regulate on banks due to my bank holidays, which only allow the rest to reopen. Well, until next time.
I'm here. You can call me Kingfish. I believe Franklin Delano Roosevelt's New Deal is just not the right way to go. Unlike Father Coughlin, I feel the New Deal doesn't go far enough. The government should actually pay its people. Through high income taxes, this is achievable. How does $5,000 a day for every family sound? Exactly. If you want $5,000, then vote for me, the Kingfish of New Orleans.
Americans, we are now instituting more programs to help with bridges, roads, airports, and public works. The WPA will bring an estimated 3.5 million jobs to you, the people. To help rural citizens, the Restitution Administration will give loans to farmers and sharecroppers. We are also expanding the rights of workers. You may now join a union without intervention. For us to continue growing, we must expand taxation to job income. But this money will be returned through our newer Social Security system. Now people 65 and older may receive an income without working.
Farming for the Dust Bowl was at first an amazing time. I had phenomenal land and tons of areas for me to place down crops for profit off of it. I mean, I make a lot of money off of it. It was good for my little girl to get out of the city since industrialization happened. All the smog came in and got to her. So my wife, daughter, and I packed up and left. That's how we got here. Until a few weeks of luxury and fun time ended, and the black clouds started to form, and moved faster and faster until it fully developed around my house. I rushed all my family out of there as fast as I can, away from that horrible storm. It left the area very deserted, and only the brave ones and the ones that couldn't afford to move stayed. I feel bad for them. Honestly, I do. But I couldn't only spare my family. I'm so glad I got my little girl out of there. I don't know what I would do if I would lose her.
The Great Depression had a variety of effects on the United States.
In the short term, even with Franklin Delano Roosevelt's New Deal, the economy was devastated. Unemployment was consistently in the double digits, and the stock market was nearly completely destroyed. Banks around the country closed by the thousands as they could not meet up with the draws created by the public. Obviously, in the short term, there was little good to be found. The upside doesn't come until further down the road when one looks in hindsight. Certain New Deal programs still benefit America to this day. The Social Security Act still provides elderly and disabled with crucial money. Perhaps most significantly was the Wagner Act, which led to the rise of unions. Through this legislation, unions were now legally protected, which brought higher wages and better working conditions to the public. Overall, the effects of the short term were negative, but when looking in hindsight, one can see the long term was positive.
Oh hey there, I'm Jason Witten, and I feel the best New Deal program was the Civilian Conservation Corps. The Civilian Conservation Corps was part of the first New Deal and was in effect between 1933 and 1942. This was a relief part of the 3 R's. The main reason it was important is it got jobs back to the millions of unemployed people of America. Basically, the government hired unmarried men between the ages 18 and 25 in manual labor jobs. This was considered the most popular New Deal program at the time. It also helped educate the public about the importance of conservation, while planting 3 billion trees in the process.
Oh, hey there, I'm Jay Gorgeous. The WPA was the most ambitious American New Deal agency. The WPA was a lifesaver by employing millions of unemployed people to carry out public works projects. The WPA employed musicians, artists, writers, and actors. Almost every community in the United States had a new park. This helped beautifying America, and it helped unemployment. Oh, didn't know you walked in. I'm Woody. The Agricultural Adjustment Act was the United States federal law from the New Deal, and it was one of the best New Deal programs because it reduced agricultural production by paying farmers subsidies if they did not plant on part of their land, and this would also kill off extra livestock. Its purpose was to reduce crop surplus, which would effectively raise value of crops. This New Deal program would essentially give jobs to farmers who before were working without making any money. It would benefit farmers who negatively affected consumers. However, with a society focused on consumerism, this program would have virtually zero negative effects. Partner Woody here. The Agricultural Adjustment Act was the United States federal law from the New Deal. It was one of the best New Deal programs because it reduced agricultural production by paying farmers subsidies if they did not plant on their land. This would kill off extra livestock. Its purpose was to reduce crop surplus, which would effectively raise the value of crops. This New Deal program would essentially give jobs to farmers who before were working without making any money. It would benefit farmers who, while negatively affecting consumers. However, with a society focused on consumerism, this program would have virtually zero negative effects, but sadly was ruled unconstitutional.
First baseman for the Tigers. Alright, so I think that the most important one is the REA, the Rural Electrification Administration. It provided loans to electrical corporations and provided electricity to rural areas. It supplied jobs as well and used higher distribution system by these corporations. It was passed May 20th, 1936.
Hey, I'm Michael R. and I just got back from practice. The NIRA was passed by the United States Congress in 1933 to authorize the president to regulate industry in an attempt to raise prices after severe deflation and stimulate the economic recovery during the Great Depression. But this was also declared unconstitutional after the Supreme Court unanimously made the decision in the case of Schechter Poultry Court versus the United States, and the court ruled that the NRA assigned law-making powers to the NRA in the violation of the Constitution, allocation of such powers to the Congress by giving the president too much rights to control the economy.